Hi, I'm Dylan Paris, and I'm really excited to tell you about something I've been working on for 3 whole years, maybe longer. See, I've got an album coming out today called There's Something Better, and it is the best thing I've ever made and something I'm extremely proud of. If you watch my channel, you're probably used to me making instrumental tracks from scratch and using different technology like iPads and synthesizers and groove boxes. The videos I make on this channel are something I'm really proud of, but they're not really indicative of the types of music I make as a musician. You see, I view a lot of the work I do here as practice, and it's made me a much better musician because by making at least 1 video a week, usually creating some kind of song from scratch, I'm getting better at playing and composing music. However, this album is something that I've been making and working on actively since 2017 and especially 2018. It's the culmination of more work than I've ever put into anything, and I think it really shows. It's interesting. You know, I've been doing YouTube consistently for almost 2 years, and I'm so proud of what I've done with my channel, but it does feel in some ways almost separate from my music. And so what I want to do today is bring them together. If you're a fan of what I do here on YouTube, and you like the kinds of music and the kind of stuff I create, I really would be just beyond honored and indebted if you would check out my album, There's Something Better by Dylan Paris. That's me. The album releases November 1st, so by the time you're watching this, you should be able to listen to it. Thanks to DistroKid, who's not sponsoring. I don't have sponsors yet. But thanks to the platform DistroKid, I have my album on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Google Play if that still exists, YouTube Music if that still exists, all kinds of channels. I also have a link to my Bandcamp, which if you want to financially support me and my channel, buying the album through Bandcamp is probably the best way to do that right now. But that being said, just taking the time to listen to it, and if you enjoy it, sharing it with people you care about who you think would also appreciate the music is the most amazing thing you could do for me. Apps like Spotify especially will show music to more people the more people listen to it. It's essentially checking the popularity of a track, and this especially matters early on in the life of a track or album. That's why I'm making this video now. I'm going to talk a lot more in the future about how I made the album. I want to do individual song breakdowns with the people who helped kind of make this a reality. This album would not exist without Jake Stein, aka Wrong House, and I'll link his stuff below too. Jake helped me in the mixing process to add more layers to the tracks and to mix them in a way that was extremely professional and took my ears out of the equation, which is really important when you're super attached to the music to have someone else involved who can lend their unbiased or their own separate view and sound to the album. He mixed and added production layers to 9 of the 10 tracks. Only the last track on the album is all me, and that's specifically because it is meant to represent a moment in time that I'll never go back to. The arc of the album, I don't want to take away too much of the mystery. It's essentially an album I made through multiple breakups and the times in between, finding like who I was and what I cared about and expressing my concerns and fears about connection and moving on from things that you thought were the most important thing in your world and realizing that you have to be that for yourself, but also reckoning with what does that even look like. There's a lot more there, and I'm really excited for you to hear it. So I'm gonna play a couple of samples of different songs just to give you a taste of what the album sounds like. I'm also going to show you the amazing artwork that my friend Kiefer Crownover and myself made together. I took the image, and in the image I also wrote the font and the text, which Kiefer then cleaned up a little bit. But we wouldn't even have that image without Kiefer because it was Kiefer's idea that got us to the point of that composition. And so I'm so grateful to have worked with Jake and with Kiefer. My friend Josh Sturm, who is the frontman of the Juniper Berries, one of my favorite indie bands, is helping with some of the rollout of the album. And so they're like my holy trinity of collaborators on this, and I'm so honored and grateful for all of them. And I am so excited for you to hear this album. I'm really proud of it. Like, I don't want to get too Kanye about it. It's just I finally made something that I think is actually really good, and that's such a weird feeling after working for 12 years at least as a musician to try to get to where I think I am now. I always hope there's room to improve. I always hope there's room to grow and to learn. I think that's the point of life, but I finally have something that if someone asks me what I do, I can say I'm a musician, and I can hand them this album, probably digitally because I don't have any physical copies, and I can say this is what I do. There's Something Better, listen to it, enjoy it, The sounds are a range of synth pop, indie pop, some rock inspired stuff, even a little bit of hip hop inspired stuff. Sonic influences range from something like Churches to Nine Inch Nails to even Linkin Park on one of the tracks as far as what was inspiring me sonically. This represents almost an amber-like encapsulation of the last 2 and 3 years. It's not a sound I think I'm gonna go back to because it took so long to get here, and I've really spent the last 3 or 4 months just mastering it. It was already basically done. I just was, running it through different isotope tools and using specialized headphones because I can't have speakers in my apartment, and just getting it to where I think it really is radio ready. When I was making this album, I wanted to make something that could stand the test of time. I wanted to make something that, high school me would love. I think about Kid Cudi's first album. I think about, the music that Radiohead was putting out in 2007 and Say Hi to Your Mom was putting out, and, Kanye and these people, and there's so much music from that time that kept me going, and I really hope that this could be that for me in the past, and maybe could be that for someone else. It's a lofty goal. At the end of the day, I hope it's just a fun listen too. But I'd be so honored again if you took the time to check out my music. If you hate it, that's totally cool. You don't have to tell me. You don't have to put it. I'm cool. If you don't like it, that's cool. If you do like it, awesome. If you are inspired and you want to show me what you do, link that, or at least tell me about it in the comments. If you just leave a link, sometimes YouTube hides it from me unless I manually find it. But if you tell me the name of your project and what you're doing, I'm really happy to look at that too, because I love seeing what y'all are doing too. But yes, the album's called There's Something Better. If you're watching this video, it is out. Listen to it, share it, give me your thoughts. If they're really, really mean thoughts, maybe keep them to yourself. If they're, but no, really, thank you so much for your time. And I really hope you enjoy this album. It was a labor of love, like this channel. I can't even count the amount of money and time I've put into it, but for me, it's worth it. I work a day job so I can do this. I got a comment once that was like, you should get a job, and it's like, I don't have any idea how I could live off of the $2 I've made from Spotify and the negative thousands of dollars I put into music software, hardware, and video equipment. But anyway, listening to this album, subscribing and liking the channel, these are the things that could mean that in the future, maybe this is what I would do for a job, and that would be really cool. So thank you again for your time, and I'll see you next time. All right.
Every single one's become sane, and I just don't know why I can't move past the things out of my hands, but I won't try. All my life I wondered how to really be happy. Even now I don't know how. Still more